Welcome back to Fix This Build That. I'm Brad, and today we're going to be taking a tour of my workshop, aka my two-car garage. I'm going to go through the whole shop today, but if you want to see how the shop has progressed over the years, I got a link right up here. There's a playlist. You can see the other two shop tours I've done in this same space, and a lot has changed since the first one. But just to get started, the whole space is 31 by 19, so it's about a car and a half deep, two-car garage. So that's what I'm working with, but I do have it all to myself, other than a small little space for the kids' toys, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. So I'm gonna get started over here in the corner, then we'll work our way around the shop. But the new thing that I'm most excited about is the cabinetry that I've added and the updates, and I'm actually gonna start shooting all my intros against that wall. So let's head over there and take a look. This is one of my favorite parts in the shop. This is my modular garage cabinet system, and I have this nice little corner I just finished up. I do have plans and videos for all of this that you see, and for most of the things that you see that's made out of plywood in the shop. So I'll have a whole playlist out there, link down in the description. If you want to see how I built any of this stuff, not going to go over a ton because I have full videos on that as well as plans. But basically, I have a couple different styles of upper cabinets and lower cabinets for different kinds of storage, whether it's two doors with some cool little cubbies and things inside here. I've got my finishes over in this one. And then down below, this is just some long-term, larger storage. Got some glues and different things down in here. And these are just a great place for me to have total storage. Over here on this other side, I've got a nice little tool wall where basically I have the things that I use the most. And so I'm gonna have a lot of my little hand tools, measuring devices, tape, safety glasses, things like that. And then down below, I have a lot of extra storage as well in the drawers. So the drawers, I have the two 5 drawers on the side, and then the larger 3 drawer, which was the last piece that I added, which has been great for some of the larger storage items that I didn't really have a spot for before, because I did have it as a desk with a stool. It just didn't work out for me as great because I needed storage. So I love this area here, and actually a sneak peek of what's to come. Let's take a look over here and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. So this is a 60-inch run of cabinets that ends right here. So the modular system is set up for 60-inch runs. And really what I want to do is I have all this other space here. I have an old bandsaw that I've had forever. This 14-inch bandsaw. I also have another one. So this is more for curves and small things, but I don't really use it a ton. So I'm considering getting rid of this and then doing another run of cabinets, moving the wood storage up, and then getting another run, so that then this will be my backdrop. And I will do the work, have my workbench in front, and have this as my backdrop instead of just a blank wall, because I love these cabinets and they look great, so why not show them off and why not have that as a backdrop for my videos. This is gonna be changing a lot, and basically I just have a ton of wood still. If you watch my other videos, I talk about I have a wood hoarding problem. Still have it. Let me show you. Okay, so here's just a glimpse of the different types of wood I have in here. I kind of got the long-term storage of nicer hardwoods typically, so a lot of walnut and things up there. But I need to go through it. And then these are the shorter scraps. So this stuff is mostly usable. These things over here, I'm gonna be doing a lot of scrap wood projects for these, as well as what's in this bin here. These have been here for years, and I've just been slowly picking through them, and it's time to just let it go. And what I want to do is just get rid of all this stuff, because it's going to free up a ton of shop space that I'm just squandering, quite honestly, because I'm just not using it. So that's what we're going to do, and that's the plan. So you'll see some scrap wood project videos coming up really soon. But here's a great look at down the rest of my shop. So we're going to just turn the corner around here. But before we do that, this is the updated miter saw stand, and this is the mobile stand with the folding wings, and I don't have it locked, so maybe I should lock that. This is the mobile miter saw stand that I just updated, did a video on, so you can go check that out. But this thing is really a workhorse in the shop, and most, if not all, of my projects go through this. And I really like having the folding wings because I can basically get the outfeed I need, or the side feed, and then when I don't need it, I can just put it away. So it's really nice and compact. If you do have a smaller garage space, it's a perfect solution for that, for me at least. So I've been really enjoying this. Back here I have a lot of storage that is somewhat just general repair. I've got the drywall buckets, the painting, the electrical, the plumbing and installation, kind of your basic homeowner's DIY kit, if you will. Also have some back stock of different materials and things like that. I've got about 72,000 drawer slides because I use drawer slides a lot. And then of course back here we have the bikes. And this situation, I wish there was a better solution, but we're gonna have kids bikes and that's just gonna be what it is. And so I try to just keep it as much as I can confined to this area. And it's working okay. So what I have back here, I have my original flip top cart. Actually, this was the third one I made. But I do have this one that I had made earlier, so I still have my spindle sander on there. The new one got my new planer and the K4, the Craig Foreman, which you'll see in just a moment. I also have my joiner right here, and this is a great spot for the joiner right here because of the shape of the joiner. It kind of fits in nicely, kind of like a little game of Tetris back here, where I can have some nice outfeed and still kind of put things in here because the joiner is long. You need a lot of infeed and outfeed, and this is a great spot for it. I bought this a long time ago off of Craigslist, and it has worked awesome for me. All right, coming back to the back of the shop, I do have insulated panels on my garage door. I get asked that a lot. It is a great way to help insulate the doors, and it does help with noise reduction and pass through to outside, and it also does help with the heat. I don't have any great measurements on how much it helped, but it is noticeable. I also have the mobile lathe stand, which I've not been turning in a while. I did a lot of turning a year or two ago, and I want to get back to it and do some more things. I have the Jet 1221 VS, and this is a great time to talk about Jet because you're going to see a lot more Jet in the shop. Jet is a great sponsor of mine, and also another awesome sponsor of mine is Woodcraft, and they're both sponsoring today's video. Also, if you have a local Woodcraft, you can go there and put your hands on it and really get a feel for the product. So there's a lot of stuff on display. Go check them out. I'm gonna have a link down below in the description if you want to find out more about any of the machines that I have in the shop, and I'll also have links to them so you can go check them out on the Woodcraft website and get all the details that you need. Jet and Woodcraft have been amazing sponsors of mine, and I've really enjoyed working with them for the past few years. All right, this is the metalworking portion of the workshop. This is about it. I do not have a lot of dedicated space to metalworking, unfortunately, but I do have a nice folding table that I just picked this up. This is an Eastwood table that works really nicely because you can fold it up and it's still a nice little surface here, so I don't have to put that on my outfeed table, which I was doing before and putting an 1/8" plate down. I like this a lot better for small projects. I do have the Lincoln 210 MP welder, which is awesome with a big nice tank on it, so I can do shielded welding, which is really clean. I would love to do more with the metalworking, but it just takes up so much space and I have so many other things. I'm doing the best I can in my shop, and actually this is a great setup. So if you're looking to do some metalworking and you think that you don't have enough space in your shop, you really don't need much because you can do it out in the driveway. You know, I never grind in here because you get dust everywhere. But this is kind of what I've been drawn down to, and this works for me. So you don't need to dedicate a ton of space to do it. All right, and turning the corner here, this is one of the newest additions as well. This is my X-Carve from Inventables. This is the 1000 by 1000 millimeter, and I did build this nice work table for it. So looking at the work table, if I did it again, I probably would have added a few more inches on both sides. I believe this is 40 by 44. I probably would have gone 48 by 44 if I did it again, just to have a little bit more space. But I did do an integrated little stand. I actually welded the stand up using the metalworking product, so that was kind of fun. And I have a desktop computer back there, so I do have a wireless desktop. I use Easel, which I can get, on the internet, and so I don't have to worry about loading anything up. The computer's an older computer. It does a great job. But I got some drawers in here for all my bits and storage, and this has been working out great. It's been fun getting to learn to know the CNC system and being able to design some things and add, some cool little features to projects. So I've really been enjoying that, and more to come on this as I get more into CNC and figure out how to incorporate it in more projects. And one of the most underrated but most important things in a shop is the dust collector. So I have the Jet 3 horsepower Cyclone, and this thing is a beast. It can easily service the entire shop, and I'll show you what I do for it. I had a ton of questions about what do I do for dust collection, how do I use it. This is what I use. This thing has a massive canister on it, actually upgraded from the 2 horsepower to the 3, but I only have a single hookup right now, which is on a flex hose. And I want to hard pipe in the shop. I've just not taken the time to do it. So that is on the list. And I know I've been talking about that for a while, but I need to get to it. So I'll show you what I'm doing right now, which is basically just taking the hose and switching it. It's kind of like playing whack-a-mole, except, you don't get any points or tickets. But you get less dust. I don't know. I guess that's a win. So basically, I take it off. I run it around, and if I'm going to be doing something on the bandsaw, I hook it up. And obviously, not only does that take time, but now I have a hose running right across where I can trip on it. Sometimes it will pull off. Most of the times it works very well. And the dust collector is so powerful, it can make up for the bends and everything. But if I have something hard piped, it's gonna make it a lot easier on me, and it's gonna be a lot more efficient. So that's why I wanna upgrade it and just make it so I don't have to actually change it around every time. All right, and this is my outfeed table. This is on a short list of things that need to be replaced, basically because when I bought my joiner, I took it apart and put the bed on top, and it now has a huge dip in it because I left a 150 pound joiner bed on the top of it for, a month. So I made this thing a long time ago when I lived in Cincinnati. It has served me well, but I need to upgrade it. I do store some tools down here. So I've got my metal cutoff saw, a light duty welder, as well as a cordless sliding miter saw. So it serves me great as far as storage, but I want to upgrade it and make it a little bit more multi-purpose, as well as straight and even on the top. This is kind of the business wall, if you will. This is where most of my milling and most of my work goes on when I'm making projects. Obviously, the heart of the shop, the table saw, this sits here. I've had this for about 5 years now. Works great. And I like having it up against the wall. I do get that question a lot about why don't I have it centered. I really enjoy having it up against the wall because I think it just allows for better storage. So back here on the wall, having the clamp rack up here is great, as well as the table saw storage cabinet. So it really makes great usage of this space in the table saw. And basically, I feel like I can get the most use out of my space using it this way. Some clamp storage and my sander right here. So this is just a nice little French cleat wall that I've had. I really could probably utilize it quite a bit better because I don't have French cleats going all the way across, so there's not a ton of flexibility, but it served me well. And again, I kind of put this there and I've used it this way for several years now. It's probably due for an upgrade soon. Coming down the wall here, got a lot of jet tools on this wall. Have the 12-inch drill press. This is the JWDP 12. The thing I love about this one is it's got the digital readout, so you can change it on the fly instead of having to do the pulleys. I've got that on my drill press stand, which holds all the things that I need when I'm at the drill press, all my drill bits and clamps and everything. And this one is their 14-inch steel bandsaw. I've been digging this bandsaw. I've had this for about a year and a half now. I keep a 5/8 of an inch blade on it, so I use this one mainly for resawing and straight cuts. I use the smaller one over there if I need to do curved cuts that are smaller. But this probably gets 85 to 90% of the work I do. I've really enjoyed this bandsaw. It works very well. And this should be a very familiar view for everybody, and this is where I obviously do most of my intros. And on the wall here, these are all mobile tools, so as I need to use them, I will pull them out. So I've got my Jet router table, I've got the flip top stand, which has the new Jet benchtop planer. This thing is awesome, and actually, I've been using it for quite a while now, have gotten a lot of projects on it, and I can say that I'm really enjoying this over my old planer. The main thing that I love about it is the fact that it's got the segmented cutter head, and so it's a lot quieter than my old planer. And we're gonna be giving this away. Check a link down below in the description for the giveaway, get all the details. So check that out for the deadline, because this is gonna be something that is gonna be done by the end of the year. I hope you are a winner for this because it's an awesome planer. But it's all on the flip top here. On the underside, I've got the Craig Foreman. So whenever I need to use those, I will just pull those out, use them, and then put it back. And then finishing it up over here, I've got the Jet. This is the 18 to 36 drum sander, and this thing's a lifesaver. If you don't have a drum sander, it is such a nice thing to have. It is a luxury, and it is expensive, but it will change your world. Okay, it won't change your world, but it's super nice and it saves you time. All right, let's go around to the other side. All right, this is my typical setup. We just walked down that wall. We'll hit the back wall in just a second, but I have this mobile workbench here, and I really love having a mobile workbench, especially because those tools there, when I use them, I have to pull them off. So a lot of times I'll have to move this over so that I have room to use like the planer or something like that. And honestly, that is a huge pain in the butt at times as well, because then I have to have the room to walk in between, and so I'm kind of pushing everything that way. So that is also another reason why I'm going to put this here, and now I'll be able to use the workbench here, pull the tools out, have plenty of room in between, and then shoot on that backside. Quite honestly, I don't know why I've not done this. I just kind of got locked into using that as my main shooting wall, and I just kind of took it for granted that that was the way I needed to do it. So I'm going to try this out, and I think it's going to be a great new workflow for me. We'll see. If you change it around and you see me back on that wall soon, you'll know it wasn't. But let's go take a look at that back wall, and I'll show you guys whatever we have left in the shop. All right, here we are on the back. This was one of the first things that I got organized in my shop as far as the custom cabinetry and furniture that I built. So this is my base cabinet with drawers. This is all one piece, so it's 60 inches wide. I store a lot of my screws and portable hand tools down there, as well as these are also on French cleats, which again, don't really need to be, but it's a great hanging method. And I have a lot of handheld power tools up here as well. But I need a little bit better storage because not all of these store very well. So like this little guy, you know, it's got a small base, and so it'd be nice to have it hanging. So I think I want to have some hanging storage as an option as well. So I'm going to be working on that, trying to figure out when to put that here. All right, so this is one of the most important things in the shop. I am so proud of my picture of Norm Abram because Norm has been a huge inspiration for me as I grew up watching New Yankee Workshop. It is so fun to have an autographed picture signed from him. And whenever I need to put on my safety glasses, I always look up at Norm and remember to do that. So I love having this over here, and just a few other things of made for profit and some different things I have on the wall. This is kind of my nostalgia wall over here. All right, one of the things that you probably noticed right off the bat is the lighting in the shop. So I wanted to say that for last because that's the last thing I actually did. That was the last thing I was waiting on to do the shop tour, but I just installed all new LED lights. So we used to have 4 fluorescent lights. Now I have 9 LED lights that are more evenly distributed throughout this portion of the shop, and I've got 3 more on the back side. So these were from American Green Lights. They give off great light, and I actually have some stills of what it looks like because these are 5,000 Kelvin daylight, where the old ones, they were close, but they didn't quite get it right. So Jim over at American Greenlight did a simulation and showed me exactly where I would have, how many lumens I would have in each of the areas so I could see what part of the shops needed more light right now, what had it. Here's a few shots of what it looked like before and then what it looks like afterwards. And these are both at the same white balance, so you can see what a difference the 5,000 Kelvin makes, as well as the same settings, so you can see what a difference the extra output makes. These lights are awesome. It is just amazingly bright in the shop right now. I'll have a link down below in the description to American Green Lights. You can check those out and see if they're right for you. And as one of my viewers, they're also offering a discount code. So go check that out. You can get a discount on your lights, which is pretty cool. I've really enjoyed what this has done in the shop, and I'm glad that I made the switch over to LEDs. So if you want the playlist for all these shop projects, the playlist is right there, and that's going to go through the builds of all these things that you saw today in the shop. I hope you enjoyed the tour. The links down below in the description will give you all the information that you need about the tools and such. And until next time, guys, get out there and build something awesome.